So we left Asheville.
Yes.
With our power struggles, not knowing, and headed toward Bishop, Georgia.
Yes.
Where did we stay in Bishop, Georgia? And
Pine Lake RV Campground.
Pine Lake RV Campground.
Yep.
Okay. What can you tell me about that one?
It was Halloween.
Right. So this was actually a backup.
This is a good story.
Yeah. So we were doing a Harvest Host.
Right. We really weren't going to stay at Pine Lake. That wasn't the original destination.
That's right.
It was a Harvest Host, which is a great program. But with a 40-foot RV.
Yeah, so the thing
tough.
that we learned is we have to investigate the Harvest Host locations a little bit better ourselves. It said it was for big rigs. The turn in was flanked by 2 big brick columns, and then it was an up and down, dirt, rocky, uneven road. And then we got to where the wine tasting was, and the parking lot where they wanted you to park, and it was completely sloped. I mean, it was just almost a San Francisco hill, it felt like, so sloped. There was no way we were getting level.
And as I was trying to help us get level, it started to rain.
The skies opened
it just
up.
poured.
Yeah, no, it was a torrential downpour.
There was no one there. It was like, it wasn't a day it usually was open, so that worked out for us. So we just
got huddled in the RV and said, okay, let's find a new place.
This is where you work as a team, where you have to make some decisions and decide, is this where we want to stay? Do we want to try and somehow make this work?
Not get level, like just sleep with the slides in.
Or let's take advantage of our phones and look at apps and see where there could be to stay at a regular RV park, if we have to do that.
And we found one not too far, and it wasn't, obviously we weren't expecting to pay anything because we were going to be at a Harvest Host, but...
And that was the Pine Lake RV Campground. So
super nice woman. She had
a
nice pull-through spot for us. That was was our first curved pull-through.
Right, and the bonus was it was a newer part of the park.
Yeah, new section.
So yeah, just everything was new, all new, full hookups,
new gravel, new roads. It was tremendous.
And it was Halloween, so. We didn't have any trick-or-treaters.
No, by that point we were dead tired.
And again, it was a rainy day. It was cold. By that point, it got really windy. Ooh, that was rough.
But it was a nice, like, hey, look at this park. And if we're ever in that area again, we definitely look for it because it was a nice place.
Yeah.
From there, we noticed the next morning we were still having power issues.
Yes.
Obviously, because we know now in hindsight about the inverter box, but we didn't know at the time.
Yep.
So we were just really like, I guess the batteries are dead. I guess the batteries just won't charge, and they're dead. So we said, okay, well, we're headed toward Florida, ultimately, back to Florida. Yep. So let's find a place where we can get the batteries fixed.
Right, and the nice thing was I think we had already planned, we were going to stay at that same KOA.
Right, we were going to
with the dog hair on the ground. Just to give you reference.
Hair. Let me just be honest, it was human hair, just not mine. So we were going to the KOA Forsyth, so we found a Freightliner repair place near it.
It was about 20 minutes away.
Which was awesome, and this is something that we highly recommend. If you're going to get repairs done on a travel day, try to find the place that you're going to get the repairs done not too far from where you are, but also very close to your destination.
Right.
Because what they said could take an hour was probably going to take longer, and it took 4 hours.
Right. And try to plan, obviously with repairs, sometimes there's nothing you can do. You arrive at a campground late, and that's what happens to a lot of people. But this was an instance where we knew what was going on, and we kind of could decide how we wanted to and where we wanted to go, what time we wanted to go. So we made sure to start early on that day to get to this place, so we had enough buffer time.
Right.
But we cut it close. I think it was a Friday night.
Yeah.
And
the guys there were
that they were going to
so
be like,
nice.
They can't get it done, and we're like, oh, what are we going to do?
Yeah, and they were so nice. The young kid who was working on it was like, you will not be sleeping in our parking lot this weekend.
And the problem was they had to go someplace else to get those batteries, and it was at least 30 minutes an hour away.
Yeah,
so.
and it was a lot of batteries, and then they were having issues with the first set they had for us. The stem wasn't big enough for the charging cables, and so it was a bunch of stuff. But they cleaned all the contacts for us. So I mean,
they did a great job.
Fantastic job.
Yeah.
It's more money in repairs, but it is what it is. and
So they got it fixed.
but they didn't know, we didn't know about the inverter box being tripped.
Right.
So
Because the numbers were still
when they
not
put the
good.
new batteries in, the numbers were all good. Everything was great
Right.
because they were fresh charged
right.
batteries.
So we got to the campsite.
Right. So
Yeah.
then we plugged in. This time, instead of dog hair, it was a Wizards convention.
It's a Wizards convention.
You're a wizard, Harry. There was,
Dungeons and Dragons. One of those.
I don't know, there was a bunch of people in costumes, and they were having a great time.
They were having
and
a fun
I was
time.
very jealous because they were looking like they were having a blast.
Mm-hmm.
But again, we had a long sit in the parking lot, so we were happy just to sleep.
Right.
Enjoyed our fresh cookie a second time.
Yes.
That's
That's right. We got another cookie.
We got another cookie. Same spot, so we
Yep.
knew how to get in and out. It was really easy.
And we were being very careful now of what appliances to use. Like I was not using a hairdryer.
Yeah, we were watching.
You know,
we were
watch
very
TV, you
gentle.
didn't do anything else. Like turn the lights off.
Yeah,
and
I
we
was
were
watching
trying
the
to be as good as we
gauge
could.
with
Yeah.
how many
a Hawkeye right there.
how many amps we were pulling and stuff like that. It was like watching Apollo 13, trying to figure out the ampage. But from there, we were going to
Tallahassee, Florida.
We were headed into Florida.
Right.
So
find out in the next episode what happens with the whole battery issue.
right, because we do get it fixed.
Yes. All right. Thanks, guys.